A very good morning to you and welcome to Political Spectrum. We're broadcasting live from Uyo, the Guabam state capital. Hello from me. I am Raymond Ita. It's 4 days after the conduct of the first of two major general elections in the country. Nigeria now has a president-elect. Bola Ahmed Tinubu, former senator and former governor of Lagos State, has been declared as the winner of the 2023 presidential election by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. The INEC chairman, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, made the announcement formally after the entire collation of results from across the 36 states of the Federation and the FCT. The lead-up to this announcement was characterized by claims and counterclaims of massive irregularities and alleged manipulation of the voting exercise which took place on Sunday, and an extension of votes in some areas leading into Sunday as well. The main opposition parties in the country have called the exercise a sham and have equally called for an outright cancellation of the entire process and for a rerun election to take place as far as the presidential polls are concerned. INEC, on the other end, has stuck to its gut and gone ahead to announce the result, declaring Bola Ahmed Tinubu of the APC as the winner. Coming in second is the candidate of the People's Democratic Party PDP, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, while the Labour Party candidate Mr. Peter Obi came in third place. Rabiu Kwankwaso of the NNPP unsurprisingly finished fourth in the presidential race. There were also declarations of results from across the National Assembly polls, with several parties garnering a good number of seats to make up the next assembly come June this year. A bulk of our discussion this morning would be dedicated to the post-election activities leading up to the early announcement this morning of Tinubu as the winner of this election. Well, later on in the program, we'll be joined by Victor Nilaju, the founder of EPE and a former presidential aspirant on the People's Democratic Party, who will be joining us from Lagos, which was a hot spot as far as the conduct of this election was concerned. But when we come back from this short time out, we'll be listening to Bola Ahmed Tinubu when he delivered a speech this morning, accepting, of course, the declaration of his candidacy as victorious in the outcome of the presidential poll. Stay with us, Political Spectrum. We'll return. Welcome back. It's Political Spectrum, live on Spectrum Television with me, Raymond Ita. And don't forget, you can equally be a part of the conversation later on. We'll give you an opportunity to join us and bear your thoughts on the formal announcement by INEC declaring Bola Ahmed Tinubu as president-elect following the conduct of Saturday's February 25 presidential polls. Well, let's take a listen now to the acceptance speech of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the presidential candidate of the APC, shortly after his declaration as winner of Saturday's polls.
His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Aṣíwájú 001. Ẹ̀yin ló kàn, ẹ̀yin ló kàn, ẹ̀yin ló kàn. Yes. On his mandate we shall stand. On your mandate we shall. On your mandate, Bola. Bola, on your mandate we shall stand. APC. APC. When I say the first and the fourth one, just say sweep it clean. APC. Sweep it clean. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you triply. Your Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, ably represented by our great diplomat, Professor Ibrahim Gambari, the First Lady of our country and the mother of our nation, the wife of the President, Our Lady, our mother, Dr. Mrs. Aisha Buhari. The party chairman, the man who's never failed, the man who stands on the victory of our party, my colleague, as His Excellency, my brother as a senator and a leader, the national chairman of the party, Senator Abdullahi Adamu. My very good friend, my partner, our promise keeper, the vice presidential running mate of our party, Senator Kazim Shettima. The chairman, coordinating chairman, the director general, the chemist, pharmaceutical center, the habit of the Presidential Campaign Council, His Excellency Solomon Lalong. To our darling wives, first, let me take the reverse order. let me recognize Nana Shetima. Now, my darling wife, she has been a very strong pillar of support. A sweetheart, a very humble, respectable wife, and a pastor for that matter. To all of us here, it is a great day for us to get together, for Aisha Buhari to get us together, to kickstart the campaign of prosperity for our country. Let me just fear off a little bit and give solace. Pray to God Almighty to console those who suffer some disasters across the country in flooding, those who might have lost their lives, and many of them that are in hospital. We pray that God will heal. He is the healer. He will heal all of them. Let me say thank you to our men in uniform for the peace we have so far, the recent great news, the release of those hostages on Kaduna train disaster, and many that are still praying for release. Freedom is sweet. God Almighty will give you peace and freedom, and will give Nigerian peace and freedom. To you, the people, and particularly the women gathered here today, let me say one thing. Help is here. Hope is here. Assurance is here. Promise is here. Prosperity is here. Health is here. Security is here. Banditry has ended. Hopelessness is not part of our dictionary. We are confident people. Unity is here. Diversity is here. Prosperity is here. That's what we come to promote. A nation.
Welcome back. You're still watching Political Spectrum live on Spectrum Television. A short while ago, we're listening to the presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and by every known law in the book, now President-elect, according to the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, whose chairman, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, in the wee hours of this morning, announced the APC candidate as the winner of the just concluded 2023 presidential elections. According to INEC's projections, Bola Tinubu polled 37% of the votes cast, while, of course, Atiku Abubakar of the People's Democratic Party was set to have drawn 29% of the votes to come in second, while Peter Obi of the Labour Party, according to INEC's data, polled 25% of the votes to come in third. Rabiu Kwankwaso of the NNPP came a distant fourth at the end of the exercise, which was held on Saturday. It was an election that was characterized by electronic voting machines, irregularities, alleged manipulation, and violence orchestrated in different parts of the country, which led to calls by some of the opposition parties for the elections to be cancelled outrightly and for a rerun to take place. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo was one of those who spoke tough in the lead up to today's formal announcement when he cited irregularities and also said that the INEC chairman, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, has been likely compromised. Election observers, including the foreign ones, have equally said the entire process lacked credibility, but they have said they will not interfere in the process. That's a matter for the Nigerian authorities to decide. Well, joining us to give us clearer perspective on all of these issues and a likely outcome in the next few days, Victor Anilaju, no stranger to Spectrum Television. He, of course, joined us a good number of times in the course of our entire election coverage beginning from last weekend. He's the founder of ePay and a former presidential aspirant of the People's Democratic Party. He joins me live on Political Spectrum. Good morning to you, Victor.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much for joining us as well. Nigerians woke up this morning to a rather stunning announcement from the National Coalition Center in Abuja, where the INEC chairman, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, announced the APC presidential candidate Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the winner of the just concluded 2023 presidential election. An announcement that has drawn diverse reactions across the country, with his supporters affirming that his mandate was due, while those within the opposition and even a bulk of the neutrals who felt that the entire exercise was marred by irregularities and manipulation of the process have equally vented their anger and reaction at INEC. I'd like to first get your personal perspective on the formal announcement by INEC today. Do you feel that this is a mandate that has been lost with respect to the dreams of most Nigerians, that this election should have been, if not the best, one of the best that we could have seen in the annals of the nation's political history?
For me, I think this election have shown to us Nigerians, have shown to the world what we have been saying, that Nigerian politicians are corrupt, not just corrupt, they are massively corrupt. And these have gone a long way to prove to us how corrupt these old, incompetent, corrupt politicians, how they could be. So what you are seeing going on today, or since yesterday, is just a show of how corrupt the INEC official from the INEC chairman. It just shows us how corrupt he is. if you are in a process of reporting or announcing an election and you are getting feedback from international communities and from the local communities that the election was rigged, if you are not corrupt, one of the best things you would have done is to suspend the process of announcing the results and try to look into the things that the international community and Nigerians are drawing your attention to, right? But for me, I am happy with what is happening. It's just showing to the world, because we have been saying this. You know, when I started my campaign, one of the things I said, I was
All right, perhaps a lost pictures to
our
Victor and
system.
Elaju lost, but we do
Yeah,
have him back now. All right, please go ahead, Victor.
yeah. When I started my campaign, one of the promises I made was that I was going to remove the the incompetent, corrupt politicians from our system. And this election, he said, just shows us the high level of corruption that exists amongst that exists among the politicians in Nigeria. Right? Everybody, the whole world is seeing it now. The whole world is seeing how massively corrupt the politicians, the so-called politicians in Nigeria are as of today. Right? But whether you like it or not, the world is watching, everybody is watching, everybody knows between good and evil. Everybody knows that His Excellency Peter Obi is the winner of the 2023 Nigeria presidential election. Now, whatever INEC choose to announce is just to confirm or authenticate how corrupt the INEC system is right now. So, going forward, you want to see a lot of things happening, but whatever is going to happen is going to show to the world how corrupt, how a lot of individuals have been so corrupt in the Nigeria system. I could tell you what's playing out in Nigeria now is corruption, and these are corruption that have been going on behind the scene. So they have been able to bring their corruption to the whole world, bring it to fairly, bring it to social media platform. They now brought daylight to the presidency to show you that we have been leading this country with a corrupt mind and corrupt people, right? And Nigerians know who they voted for. Nigerians are happy because Nigerians now know that we all can come together and have one voice, right? So, and let me tell you the truth. The light shines brighter when it gets darker. So it is obvious now. So you don't need to tell anybody that these politicians, they are corrupt. You don't need to tell anybody that APC is one of the most corrupt political party we have in Nigeria. You don't need to tell anybody right now that APC is full of thugs. APC is full of thieves, right? So it's obvious because that's what they have shown to us. When we went to vote on Saturday, they had no votes. What they could do was to steal ballot boxes, was to disrupt the peaceful election that was going on. If you know that you're going to win, why do you disrupt? Why do you send thugs? And why is it that it's the states where you have most of the thugs, and those are the states that they want to say that APC have votes? In Lagos State, for example, now, we have seen that Labour Party have close to 900,000 votes. But they had to manipulate the whole system with their thugs and everything to reduce a Labour Party vote to about 500,000, because they know that the obvious is the obvious. So what I'm saying that it's a victory for us Nigerians.
Okay. Again, perhaps having connection issues, linking up with Victor and Elaju.
Yeah.
Okay, Victor. I'll just draw your attention now to the reports from the election observers, in particular the foreign observers who were in the country, and a bulk of them seem to have had a damning verdict on the entire electoral process. While they have said clearly that they will not interfere with the entire process itself, but they have said, and in clear terms, that the election lacked credibility They've cited the fact that there were manipulation of results in several quarters, the failure of the BVAS, INEC's refusal to adhere to its own guiding regulations as far as the election is concerned, and all of that. And they've summarized it by saying they will leave that to the Nigerian authorities to decide. And most have said perhaps this message is directed at President Muhammadu Buhari himself, who, by the way, has formally congratulated Bola Ahmed Tinubu on his victory. In a statement that was issued by Special Assistant Garba Shehu this morning, the president's congratulatory message said the exercise was, of course, not without fault. But having said so, he also claims that none of the issues that were registered in this election represents a challenge to the freeness and the fairness of the polls. So here is Mr. President saying in summary that yes, we had cases of manipulation, we had cases of malfunctioning of the BVAS, we equally had cases of irregularities cited, but he said it doesn't amount to a challenge or doesn't represent a challenge to the freeness and fairness of the elections. I wonder what you make of that, considering this was the same president who assured us that he wanted to leave behind a legacy with a proper conduct of this election.
Yes, it's same thing that I said before. It just shows you the high level of corruption that the APC party is a corrupt party from top to bottom. So whatever you hear, and thank God most of this statement is coming from members of the APC. So, and well, what I would say right now is that they have done it all. This is the worst they can do. So, and when you get to a place where you are in between, when you get to the last part of the journey, it's a dawn of a new day. And at least everybody now knows how corrupt the APC government are. So we don't need to come up here and pretend that what the president is saying is right or wrong, but we know it's an endorsement of corruption. You know, they used to say the president was not corrupt, but through this election.
Okay, we like to apologize for the quality of the pictures. It seems again we do have Victor back again.
So,
all right, go ahead.
So yeah, so before now, they used to say that the president is not corrupt, right? But with this election, we have not seen how corrupt he is. So, like I said, this is just manifestation of corruption in Nigeria. And my joy is that the global community, they have seen the level of corruption in Nigeria to the peak, where an election is going on and the organization that is in charge of monitoring the election is being told, because that's part of the INEC work. Part of the INEC work is for them to get feedback on the processes of an election and look at those feedback and see where they can stop rigging. But instead of listening to those feedback, they kept on doing what they are doing, right? Nobody said the election was going to be a perfect election, but you would have even attended to the feedback. That's why you have observer. So why do you have observer in the first place? Why do you have people, party agents in the first place? If you don't want feedback, if you know that you don't want feedback, you would have as well as remove observer, you would have as well as remove party agent. Party agent is to give you feedback. And if an institution that has been given the authority to conduct an election is now paying a blind face or a deaf ear to feedback, that should show you the level of corruption. And for me, I do not think that any person that have seen what happened in Nigeria today, we feel that the APC government, that they are not corrupt. No, you know, one thing that you have to understand here is this corruption, we have been talking about it. We have fought towards it, and some persons still do not understand the level of corruption that the APC government has brought into Nigeria. But this election have authenticated their level of corruption from the INEC to the APC party. And maybe as you go further, you might see that within the judiciary system. But my joy is that at least the world now know how corrupt the APC party, how they can truncate the voice of the people. You don't force yourself to lead the people. You present yourself. If the people accept you, yes, you come in. If the people reject you, you take it in good faith. Forcing yourself on the people using talks, using INEC, fortifying results is.
All right. That Victor Anilajo is still giving us feelers on his thoughts about this whole
Right.
process. A short while ago, you mentioned the judiciary in parts of your comments. I'd just like to draw your attention to that quickly, because the aftermath of this process and the formal announcement of Tinubu as the winner of the election has seen some persons opine that the losing candidates in this election should channel their grievances to the courts because they feel that's further entrenching democratic values and principles. But a good number of persons appear to have lost faith in the nation's judiciary, and we had a perfect example as to how compromised the Nigerian judiciary is with the Naira redesign policy, where even Mr. President decided not to adhere to a Supreme Court ruling that ordered him to stay hands on the further implementation of the Naira redesign policy. I mean, we saw firsthand what it means to disrespect the rule of law. So who's to say that grieving opponents who have lost out in this election by INEC's own standards would have their mandate returned to them should they decide to pursue the matter in courts?
Well, any person that is saying that they should go to court is an indication that that person is ready to bribe their way through the courts. I could tell you for one, the APC-led government, I've always said it, they are the most corrupt party right now in the world. And as we speak right now, they have their own person there as the Supreme Judge. They have corrupt people that have corrupted the system that even they themselves sometimes don't even obey the rulings of the court anymore. So even if any court comes up and said, oh no, the election was foul or void, I don't think the APC government will listen to that. It's a corrupt system. Corrupt system operates in corrupt model. That's how it's being done. Whatever system you see that operates today has a foundation. Once the foundation is corrupt, every other thing that comes out from that system itself becomes corrupt. So you cannot have a corrupt president telling you to go to court. No, it's not done anywhere in the world. So it's not meant for the president to say who should go to court or whether they should go to court or not, right? If they know that they've actually won the election, why are they asking people to go to court? Because they know they have prepared the court, they've corrupted the judiciary system already. So they are telling you, okay, go there. We already have our people there. When you go there.
All right. Again, we always like to apologize for the poor pictures we receive, and it's down to the quality of the network. But we do have Victor back online. Please go ahead with the point you were making.
Yeah, so the judiciary system in Nigeria itself, it's corrupt. Now, everything about APC right now has corruption embedded in it. They are ready to pay you millions of dollars to just get their way into the into government. And why are they fighting to get into government? It's so that they can embezzle more money. Now, we've not experienced the level of embezzlement in this country before, like we have experienced in these past 8 years reign of APC. We've not had this election as worse as this, like we've just experienced some few days ago. There is nothing you can tell about APC that is void of corruption. So I would say Nigeria right now, we are facing corruption. Corruption has grew from being small to become a precedent. Now we now have the most corrupted president in the world. So we have the most corrupted president in the world. We have the most corrupted political party in the world, which is APC. So there is nothing for us to talk about much than how do we go further to deal with corruption. I think that should be the next step we as a people we are looking at. How do we have to deal with this corrupt system?
It's good enough you've mentioned that, how to deal with a system that apparently looks corrupt. And we may go on and on about citing instances to buttress the arguments that INEC itself has been. The Senate President came out yesterday to claim that there were no provisions in the Electoral Act that allowed for an electronic transmission of the result. And it clearly irked a good number of persons. With respect to the claims that, yes, they have to talk, only have the assembly. And for the first time since perhaps the early days of post-independence, the legislature in the country is going to be sharing seats galore, because we had so many political parties pick up a good number of seats in both houses of the National Assembly. The Labour Party, interestingly, scored or picked up as many as 73 to 74 seats, in both chambers of the National Assembly. Do you consider that a massive success and something that should be celebrated, considering that it's not going to be a rubber-stamped National Assembly as we've seen in years gone by?
Like I said, even the current Senate president that was declared winner of his constituency,
All right, let's hope to have Victor back on the line in a very, very short while. All right, we do have him back. Go ahead, Victor.
Yeah, the current Senate president is a member of APC. And APC being a corrupt political party, what do we expect from them? Even him himself, Lawa, is not supposed to even be the candidate of APC, because he contested in the APC presidential primaries that he lost. But they now use the corrupt court system to bring him back as the senatorial candidate of APC. You see, if you follow the process of APC, everything about APC as of today is corruption. So even from the so-called Senate president, is one of the most corrupt Senate presidents you can ever think of. So he lost his bid for presidency. He did not participate in the senatorial primaries, but the court brought him back to be the senatorial candidate of APC. There is nowhere in this world such things can be done. It only can be done in APC, which is the corrupt party of the whole world, right? So, what else will you expect from a corrupt senator? And there was nothing he was going to say. He's trying to say the guideline did not stipulate that he is not the INEC chairman. We have it on video when the INEC chairman said results will be transmitted real time. We have the video. I can send you the video, or you have seen the video. It's everywhere. INEC chairman have always said that the results will, from the polling unit. He used the word results will be transmitted from the polling unit real time. I don't understand what people talk about real time. There are some states as we speak right now that they have announced their results, but some of their polling unit results is not even on the Beavers platform. It's not even on the INEC platform. So I don't understand. That is why I said what I said. INEC would have at least suspend the process of calling results until they are sure that all results has gone through the Beavers and have been uploaded on their system. There are some capturing on the Beavers where it's just somebody's face. There are some capturing on the Beavers where the results from a particular state, if you go to their platform and check it, it's just like when somebody checks somewhere in Lagos. I was seeing Nasarawa State results on Lagos platform. So that's what you will be seeing going forward. What you'll be seeing from the APC-led administration is the highest level of corruption. So you'll be seeing them.
Okay, Victor, they're positing massive corruption on the parts of the ruling All Progressives Congress. To conclude up on that point, Victor, I'd just like to ask as well, where does this leave Nigerians, the most important factor in the entire electioneering process? As I said earlier on, prior to this election, Nigerians were quite optimistic, not just premising on Mr. President's promise to deliver a free, fair and credible post, but the several calls by even their respective political parties and candidates that they had actually supported and followed, that they should come out en masse and vote. It led to a lot of persons believing that for once the electioneering process in the country would change. Apparently, all of those hopes have been dashed by what Nigerians have witnessed, in broad daylight. And I wonder what this means, not just for the March 11 elections coming up in a matter of days, but also projections for future elections. Do you think Nigerians would, have faith going forward that the elections would be an opportunity where they can elect leaders of their own choice? And also quickly, I'd likely to also add up on this. What do you project would likely happen now that we have a president-elect? Are we going to see the other political parties, just allow matters to be swept under the carpet? Of course, we know there's an option to challenge all of this in court or at a tribunal. But where do you see all of this heading?
Well, like I said, that Nigerians have seen how corrupt the APC-led government can be. So this itself will prove more to Nigerians that we have corrupt persons in our government.
But I just like to point out as well that I just like to point out as well, Victor, that opinion seems to be divided on this. We equally have a good number of Nigerians who are coming out to say, accept the announcement of Bola Tinubu as president and let's just move on.
That statement, it must be from a corrupt person. See, being there, when you aid and abet a crime, you are part of the corrupt system. Anybody that you see coming out to say, just accept the result and let's move on, that person is a corrupt person. Let's see. I know that going forward, Nigerians are now more bolder, we are now more clever, we are now more informed how corrupt the APC-led administration could be. So if anybody comes up and say, let's allow peace to reign, let's move forward, there can be no peace without justice. So what people should be saying is that let justice prevail. It's only
okay. Again, we're still having challenges connecting to Victor, but then we do have him back again. Just go ahead with your point, Victor.
It's only a corrupt person that will come and tell you at this point where the obvious has been seen to say, let's keep calm, let peace prevail. If you want peace, ask for justice. Justice before peace. So, like I would say, Nigerians will decide. It's not APC that will decide for us who becomes our next president. It's not even INEC that decides for us who becomes our next president. Nigerians have that responsibility. It's our right to elect who becomes our president. And we have done that, and INEC have violated the Constitution of Federal Republic of Nigeria, right? And all of these persons who have aided and abetted the rigging, the corruption, the election manipulation, they will all face judgment. They will all be brought to book. Nigerians has it in their power. It is their constitutional right to elect who becomes their president. It's not for INEC to impose on us. It's not for APC to impose on us who becomes our president. It's a democratic system. People need to vote their choice. And when they vote their choice, their vote must be counted and announced the way it was voted. So if you go back to INEC in the first place have not announced who we voted for. So that is Nigerians will still decide. It still comes upon us. It beholds upon us for us to decide. Now, let me tell you
how else do you hope to decide? I like to believe that it is within the right of Nigerians to head out to the streets to protest as democratically allowed or constitutionally allowed. But we've seen the case over the years where it seems even the government, through security agencies, try to deter Nigerians from exercising their constitutional rights by coming out to protest. The NSAS protest was a vivid example of a government that chose to clamp down on civilians, who decided to protest peacefully. Following what we've seen at the outcome of this election, it wouldn't be unsurprising to see Nigerians head to the street to protest for a change in the entire exercise itself. But don't you think the fears that they could be clamped down on by security operatives again on the orders of the government could deter most Nigerians from wanting to take that course of action?
No, because the Nigerian people have decided, and we have decided who becomes our next president. So if INEC can violate
All right, we're just concluding our conversation in a short while. Don't forget, we'll be chipping in your reactions too. But let's just wrap up with Victor. Please go ahead on your concluding points.
If INEC can violate the laws, the Constitution, we are not part of those who are going to violate our constitutional rights. It is our constitutional right to elect who becomes our president. And when our right is being violated, we have other rights on what to do to make sure that our constitutional right is being upheld. So I think most of the questions should go to INEC. What is INEC planning to do next? Because we have seen that INEC have totally disregarded and violated the constitutional rights of Nigerians who work day and night to make sure that the INEC chairman is being paid, to make sure that the INEC officials they are being paid. There can never be a Nigeria without Nigerians. Nigerians have the power of the people is greater than the power in political offices. So this is the time where you will see that the power of the people will have to challenge the power in political offices. And I'll tell you the truth. The truth remains the truth. The fact remains the fact. 2023 presidential election was won by His Excellency Peter Obi from Labour Party. Anything apart from that, you are violating the constitutional right of Nigerians. And if you do that, then we all will pick up our rights and do what we can do, all right. But I want to tell you the truth, for peace to reign, for democracy to grow in this country, we all need to understand that the people have voted their choice, and their choice must, it is not a negotiation, must be upheld. You cannot circumvent, you cannot deprive the people from their choice. They are choosing who they want to lead them. INEC has not gotten that power to tell us who becomes our president. INEC don't have that constitutional right. Their constitutional right that was given to them is to monitor and announce who the Nigerian people voted for. And Nigerian people voted for His Excellency Peter Obi of Labour Party. So anything short of that is that you are violating the constitutional right of Nigerian people. And I'm glad that the global community, they are watching. They know who is violating each other's right at this point. You know, when during the NSAS, they said we were constituting nuisance. Right now, let's say to APC-led government, APC-led government are constituting nuisance. They are.
Again, we just lost pictures there while Victor was about wrapping up. Perhaps we'll just give him a few seconds to conclude on that point. We're about wrapping up with you, Victor. I'd just like you to conclude on that point you were making just before we let you go.
Those at this point who is violating the constitution. They know that INEC has violated the constitution. APC as a party, have violated the Constitution of Federal Republic of Nigeria. No party is greater than Nigeria, and no Nigerian is greater than Nigeria. So Nigerians have spoken. Nigerians will get what we have voted for. Thank you for having me.
Interesting thought. Thank you so very much, Victor Anilajo, for joining us all the way from Lagos, and bury your thoughts on Political Spectrum today.
Yes, so let me say this before I go. I want to congratulate His Excellency Peter Obi for his victory, for becoming our next president. Right, the people have voted you massively, and you have our support till you finish your tenure of being the president of Nigeria. Thank you, Nigerians. Thank you, everybody.
All right. Thank you very much indeed, Victor, for joining us on our Political Spectrum this morning. Victor Anilajo, founder, EP, and former presidential aspirant of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, giving his thoughts on the outcome of the 2023 presidential election, which, by the way, INEC, the electoral umpire, did declare Bola Ahmed Tinubu of the All Progressives Congress, APC, as the winner. According to Mr. Mahmood Yakubu, the INEC chairman, Bola Tinubu polled 37% of the votes that were cast, polling 8,805,428 votes. I'll take that again, 8,805,428 votes to be declared president-elect. So perhaps Victor is only echoing the words of the supporters of the Labour Party candidates who had hoped that their candidates would be elected as president, but that is not the case at the moment until perhaps proven otherwise. Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the president-elect of Nigeria. By the way, Back-up the PDP came in second with 6,984,290 votes, and that represents roughly 29% of the votes cast according to INEC. Peter Obi of the Labour Party, of course, came in at third place. 6,101,533 votes were allocated to Peter Obi by INEC, while Rabiu Kwankwaso of the NNPP came in fourth place. He only managed to win one state out of 36, and that was his home state of Kano. He came in fourth at the end of the elections, according to figures collated from the National Coalition Center in Abuja yesterday by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. Well, post-election and post-coalition and announcement reactions continues from across the country. And we do also chip in yours as well just before we wrap up, because we do have ample time before we close up shop on the program this morning. We'll revisit the statement by Bola Ahmed Tinubu in his acceptance speech early this morning, where he said he has accepted the call to be president of Nigeria with all his heart, making promises of improving the welfare and the lot of Nigerians. As he said, it's through prosperity. He's also said issues of banditry were going to be a thing of the past, and so many other areas he hopes to address as president. We'll hear from him again when we come back from the short break, and we're equally chipping your reactions. Feel free to join the conversation by reaching out to us on the numbers displayed on your screen. We'd love to hear from you. You can also go to our social media platforms and leave us messages as well. Political Spectrum will return after this break. Please stay with us.
Nigerian police, which is the only one allowed by grossly abused. Our governors have to share police powers with the president as stipulated by the constitution. We do not have a federal government police force. We have the Nigerian police force, which shall be administered, organized, and supervised by the Nigerian police force.
No, my lord, I want to say something. I want to say something here. Perhaps it might also enlarge the scope of people who should be invited here for examination. My lord, if we cannot find those who literally murdered Abiola, who are those people who could be said to be the beneficiaries of the death of Abiola?
Rogers has linked you with some of the killings he did.
He never did.
He linked you with the attempted murder of Hebrew.
He did not.
My lord, the Matters Council is leading the evidence in our matters.
Is this an adversary proceeding?
It's not, my lord, but we can't be talking about cases which are in court.
Is this an adversary proceeding?
It's not, my lord. These cases are in court, my lord. I'm just reminding your lordship.
My lord, sorry, my lord, I think I'll be in cross-examination.
Legally Speaking, a program that deals with legal issues and questions we face as citizens of this amazing country, Nigeria. Legally Speaking. Join us every
Friday from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m.
for Legally Speaking.
Welcome back. You're still watching Political Spectrum on Spectrum Television with me, Raymond Ata. The main focus of our discussion this morning, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has declared Bola Ahmed Tinubu of the All Progressives Congress as the winner of the just concluded 2023 presidential election. And by that verdict, he stands president-elect of Nigeria and would likely take over from His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari come May 29 this year. Tinubu, according to the results announced, won in 12 states across the country. Just to fill you in on those states, after polling 37% of the votes, Tinubu won elections, according to INEC, in Rivers, Borno, Jigawa, Zamfara, Benue, Kogi, Kwara, Niger, Osun, Ekiti, Ondo, Oyo, as well as Ogun State. That's in 12 states. Interestingly, Atiku Abubakar, who came in second, also won in 12 states. And the states includes Katsina, that's the home state of President Buhari. Atiku also won in Kebbi, Sokoto, Kaduna, Gombe, Yobe, Bauchi, his home state of Adamawa, Taraba State, Osun State, as well as Bayelsa State and Akwa Ibom State, by the way. Peter Obi, who came in third and polled 25% of the votes, totaling over 6.1 million of the votes cast, won in 11 states. And the states Peter Obi of the Labour Party won includes Edo, Cross River, Delta, Lagos, the FCT, Plateau, Imo, Ebonyi, Nasarawa, Anambra State, where he hails from, Abia, as well as Enugu State. So that represents some sort of sweep in the southeastern parts of the country for Mr. Peter Obi. The Labour Party, rather the NNPP candidate, Rabiu Kwankwaso, only won in one state out of 36, and that was his home state of Kano. So there were the projections according to the collated results announced by INEC shortly after the coalition exercise in Abuja. The reactions that have trailed this announcement has been one of the ike on the part of most Nigerians who felt INEC ignored credible calls to review issues of alleged manipulation and wide-scale irregularities that marred the outcome of this exercise, particularly in notable states across the country where there were incidences of multiple voting, underage voting, destruction of ballot boxes, alleged thumbprinting of ballot papers in favor of some political parties by INEC officials in connivance with some parties, and security operatives were attached to these polling units. INEC preferred not to resort or revert to those issues, but went ahead to announce the results. We also saw some level of drama at the National Coalition Center a couple of days ago. The party agents of the PDP, including Senator Dino Melaye and former Imo State Governor Emeka Ihedioha, both stormed out of the National Coalition Center alongside agents of the Labour Party as well as other parties. They staged a walkout on the INEC chairman after addressing concerns with respect to the collation and the mismatching of figures, which led to Dino Melaye questioning the rationale behind the refusal of INEC to transmit election results electronically. Well, the response from the INEC chairman was that there were no provisions in the Electoral Act which backed the transmission of results electronically. And this claim was also backed by the Senate President Ahmad Lawan, who also said the Electoral Act did not provide for transmitting of results electronically. But of course, as we heard from Victor Nilaju, and I like to say Spectrum TV is also well aware of the provisions in the Electoral Act, which INEC themselves confirmed sometime last year and in the months leading up to this election that yes, the results would be transmitted from the polling units electronically up to the INEC's iRef portal, which was provided for the uploading of the results the moment they were conducted. So why did INEC take a different stance at the Coalition Center, telling Nigerians that no such provisions actually existed? It has raised the questions about the credibility of the exercise, which has of course been pointed by most of the election observers locally and internationally, who have said this election actually lacked credibility. With reference to the international observers, they have said they will leave that matter to the Nigerian authorities to decide, because their role was that of observation and not to interfere with the process. Well, the Nigerian authorities here simply referred to the government headed by President Buhari, who, by the way, this morning came out to congratulate Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the president-elect, on his victory. What the president did say that the elections itself came without hitches, and even though there were concerns raised in some quarters about the process, in the president's statement, it said it was not enough to represent a challenge to the freeness and fairness of the polls. So it looks like to Mr. President, we just had a free, fair and credible process as a promise, whereas in stark reaction, this is not the case. Well, let's get in your reactions. Feel free to join us via our studio lines as displayed on the screen. We might be able to chip in a few calls just before we wrap up the program this morning, but we'd like to advise as well that you keep your calls, your comments and all your contributions as moderate as possible when you do join in. We're past pre and post-election cases, but of course, should irregularities have been cited in areas where you did cast your vote, we perhaps like to welcome them as Nigerians all over the country mounting pressure on INEC, including, of course, the leading opposition parties who took part in the exercise, who held a joint press conference yesterday calling for an outright cancellation of the elections. Will INEC hit to all of this? Hello, good morning to you.
Yeah.
Welcome, name and location.
Hello.
Yes, good morning. What's your name and where are you joining me from?
Yes, I am Murphy, my name, calling from Jos.
Welcome, Murphy. Go ahead, please.
Yes, there's this question I just want to ask. The area where elections were cancelled and beavers were snatched, what is the action of the INEC going to be like? Because I just overheard you interviewed Mr. Victor now, and he is saying that what is going to happen to those areas that elections were cancelled. So tell us, you see, I am not encouraging anything that has to do with crisis or problem. But let us know, in case of tomorrow, what is happening now, it might happen again next time, maybe when election comes up. This thing has, destabilized everybody's hope. Nobody is even ready to vote again. Because by the time you go and suffer, because somebody like me, I know how much I suffered before I could be able to cast my vote that day under the sun. And at the end of the day, nothing is coming up. Is this a good hope for Nigeria? So that is my question.
All right. Thank you very much, Murphy, joining us from Plateau. Well, we wish we had the answers. The National Coalition Center is an opportunity afforded Nigerians by INEC to see a live presentation of the results that were collated from each of the polling units across the country. Largely over 176,000 polling units were documented for the electoral exercise we witnessed on Saturday. We saw some polling units where there were irregularities, which of course were cited by the respective party agents of some political parties. We already talked about Dina Melaye and the Labour Party staging a walkout on the INEC chairman on Sunday because they claimed that there were areas where irregularities were cited, where elections did not hold as well. But strangely, we saw results coming in. And the INEC chairman equally said that there were no provisions in the Electoral Act that said we can actually transmit results electronically. Hello, good morning. Feel free to join us back. We're wrapping up in a bit, so we'd like to chip in as few calls as we can. Hello, good morning to you. Hello, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Good morning, welcome. What's your name and where are you joining from?
Good morning, welcome. What's your name and where are you joining from? Okay, I'm joining you from Port Harcourt. Okay, I'm joining you from...
All right, and your name?
Okay, I'm Bright by name.
All right, Bright, go ahead quickly. What's your reaction?
Okay, my reaction is this. I just want to ask some questions because, prior to the elections, we had, trust on INEC and all they said, and that was what prompted us, the youths, to come up for these particular elections, Now, videos have gone online. I want to find out, on one of the videos, the new president-elect now was saying to his party members on a conference that they should snatch the ballot box, that they should take it by force, that they should run away with it and fight for it. Is this the kind of person that wants to come and become Nigeria's president? Then, Wike in Port Harcourt, on many of the polling units, they when you go to cast your vote, they will ask you which party are you casting vote for. If it's LP, now get out of this place. They defranchise a lot of people from casting their votes. Then on one of the videos also, Wike was calling one of the guys in Plateau State, demanding that he should refund the money they gave to him to rig the election in Plateau State. that he also made a statement. I quote him. He made a statement that if the guy does not refund the money, he will kill the guy in River State. The video is online. These videos are online. Now, a lady, part of INEC officials, was thumbprinting on INEC papers, defranchising people from their votes. Now, all these evidence are clear that this election was massively rigged. The president we know that we voted for as Nigeria is Peter Obi, who is actually the winner of this election. So we want them to tell us.
All right.
We want to know the actions.
Okay, brighter concerns are well noted.
It's no longer under APC.
All right, thank you very much, Bright. Your concerns are noted. We just have to give room for others to join the conversation as well. With respect or reference rather to the claims made by the APC candidate and now president-elect, according to INEC, calling for his supporters to snatch ballot boxes. Well, we've equally had access to those footages as well as claims of INEC officials massively thumbprinting on ballot papers in favor of some political parties. We can confirm we've had access to those footages as well. As a matter of fact, in the course of coverage of this election, we did bring some of them up if you followed us over the weekend. However, that's left for the jury to decide. A lot of persons have said grievances should be taken to the court, even though it begs the question why those incidents were brought up at the Coalition Center, but INEC chose to turn a blind eye to most of these claims. Let's welcome another reaction. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Welcome. What's your name and where are you joining us from?
From the Marmar State.
I'm sorry, you might have to speak up. We can barely hear you. All right, sorry, we're going to have to let you go. When next you call in, do all to speak up so a bulk of the viewers out there might get it clearly. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, my name is Jibril.
And where are you joining us from?
I'm calling from Gwagwalada. I'm calling from Dubi Gwagwalada.
All right, that's in the FCT. Go ahead, what's your reaction?
Yeah. Please, INEC chairman said this thing live and it was cut to be on transmission that people can watch him all over the world. Why this thing is not showing like that? And we are seeing how the mass media are repeating its words. And now they are denying that it's not captured in the electoral act. I don't know if they have another different this method that they are using. With you people are showing him live the way he speaks and the way he Senate were asking him and how he uttered that word. Please, you people should keep this in and to be reviewed it time to time so that they can capture it and present it to him in the court of law. Thank you.
Thank you, Jibrin, as well for joining in. But that's the bulk of the reactions that we can take this morning. Of course, it's the duty as the 40th state of the realm for the press to do right by Nigerians by only reporting things that we see and deem fit to be accurate. And I'm pretty sure that's what like minds will likely do throughout the course of this electioneering period, which, by the way, is not over yet, because we still have another date for destiny come March 11, when Nigerians are expected to troop out to vote for governors and state house representatives of their choice. Although the speculation and the projections now is that March 11 could witness widespread voter apathy because of a lack of trust that is already building on the part of most Nigerians after the shabby experiences that they saw over the weekend. But one thing is clear, Bola Ahmed Tinubu of the All Progressives Congress stands president-elect of Nigeria until stated otherwise. Where does this leave Nigeria as a nation? Well, we'll keep on following this up, and do well to join us again when next we come your way for another edition of Political Spectrum. From me and the rest of the crew, thanks for watching, and bye for now.